Welcome to Aquarium and Reptile Depot. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a water change on a freshwater aquarium. We always get questions on how to do it. So today I'm going to be showing you some essential things you're going to need is, most important, gravel vac. People do not know what these are. A lot of the waste in tanks go to the bottom. So the gravel vac siphons it out. I'm going to show you guys how to use it. Very easy. Some other things you're going to need: algae scraper, algae pad. There's also scraper in this version, but I'm going to show you guys how to use everything. At the store, we sell pre-measured buckets, so you know how much water you're going to be taking out. I'm going to go into detail when I start cleaning the tank to tell you how much water to change out usually for each tank. Next things, as we always talk about, bacteria helps the tank, and water conditioner. Also great to use whenever you do water changes in the tank. We have 5-gallon water containers. We sell water here, filtered water, and we have salt water also. On the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to do water changes on a saltwater aquarium. So most of the time, people always ask, how much water do we take out in a tank? It really depends. One thing to factor in is test the water. If your water is always off, that means you have to do water changes more frequent. For our store, we do water changes once a week. We usually algae scrub once a week on the tank. So usually we recommend doing about 20 to 25% water changes. We usually don't recommend doing more because that does mess up the ecosystem in the tank. I get it, we always hear, my tank was super dirty, I had to do a bigger water change. Okay, yes, if it needs to, you can, but know that it's only a bandage fix. The tank needs to build its bacteria back up. So, one thing very important to do, which I'm going to show you in the videos, never clean filter media, sponge filter cartridges under tap water. You will be killing the bacteria. I'm going to be showing you the proper way of doing it and how to do a water change. It's very easy. So let's get started. So this is a 20-gallon tank. We usually do 20% water changes. So 2 gallons. So first thing you're going to do, I'm short, so I have to get a ladder. You always want to algae scrub before doing a water change, because when you're algae scrubbing, all the waste is going to go to the bottom. Then you can siphon it out. So how we normally do it, we scrub all 4 corners. It really depends on what you want to do. Usually in the back, you really don't notice it, but we like to keep our tanks really clean. So I like to clean everything all the way around. Yes, you guys are seeing me work for once. Some people don't like sticking their hands in a tank. That's when the algae scraper comes in really handy. So it's a pad with a plastic. So you can actually just clean it without putting your hands in the tank. And you just clean it just like that. One important thing is if you have gravel or sand, try not to get it in between the pad because you can scratch your tank when doing that. That's when I like to use the hand pad, and I can use my fingers and kind of brush the gravel away. With the silicone, with the algae pad, you can just go around it and just clean it. You're not hurting the glue in any way. So, perfect. Everything is all clean. People do ask, you keep all the fish in the tank. You never have to take out the fish whenever you do a water change. So let's get this started. Whenever we sell a siphon, people always ask, how do you use it? There's a lot of ways of using it. I'll show you both ways. I'll show you how we normally do it, and then if it doesn't start, there's another way. That one is a little harder, but I'll show you. Most important thing, get water in the tube. Tilt it up, put this end in your bucket, and that's how you start your siphon. And you can start siphoning it. The other way of getting it going is, you gotta make sure the tube is empty. Put the tube in the tank, make sure there's no air in there. How I normally do it, I use my hand so you're not sucking on the tube. You suck on the tube and then drop it in. Just like that, super easy. You don't have to hold it, water will come down. One important thing, when you have sand or gravel, you can kink the tube a little bit while cleaning it. While cleaning the gravel, you always want to move up and down. You don't want to slide it. Because I'll show you, when you're sliding it, you're not cleaning any of the gravel, you're just moving the gravel around. I like to move it up and down when cleaning it. See all that waste? This is from us cleaning it once a week already. And don't worry, like right now you can see the bucket, it's already at 2 gallons. No big deal, just clean half the tank and then next time you clean the other half. Everybody always thinks our water is so clean, but look how dirty that is. That we do overstock it and we do feed the fish, but just like that. But you just want to clean it, make sure you get everything. There is different size siphon tubes for different tanks. Like for this one, this is a good size for a 20. For a 10 gallon, there's a smaller diameter, which I can show you guys. But super easy to clean. Just make sure you move it up and down. And that's it for the water change here. When you're done, there's always water in the tube, but just make sure you throw it back in there. Like what I was saying with the filter cartridges now. You never want to clean it under tap water. We have sponge filters and we have a hang on the back filter. I take it off the air line. I know it looks gross, but this is all good water. It's all bacteria. You just squeeze the sponge filter in the bucket. See, look how dirty that is. We clean it once a week with it. But then I dump it back in. I squeeze it out. Just like that. Because you're keeping all the bacteria in here. Plug it back in. Just like so. Now for the hang-on filters. So with hang-on filters, a lot of people like to do everything at once. We kind of call it doing too much, is you do a water change and you put a new cartridge in it. Sometimes that does shock the tank. You don't normally want to do that. With our hang-on filters, we have something called bio rocks. That keeps a lot of the bacteria in there. Sometimes you get debris in there, so all you do is just dump it, dunk it, just clean it off. With the Seachem tidal filters, what we recommend for most filters is our favorite. This whole basket comes out, so you can dump it, you can dunk it, and it's all good. There's actually a bio sponge in there that you can squeeze out as well. And all you do is just put it back in. And that's how you clean a filter. If you're ever doing a water change and you want to clean out the filter, space it out. Like 1 week do a water change, next week change a cartridge. And that usually will not shock the system. So we're here. We did a water change, we cleaned out the filter. Now we just add water back into the tank. So what we normally do before we add water is I try to put the water conditioner in and the bacteria. For a lot of these products, don't worry about overdoing it. It will not hurt the tank. So normally we do is 1 cap per 25 gallons. It's a 25 gallon. So what I'm gonna do is just dump it in there. For the prime, it's 2 drops per gallon or 1 cap per 50. So I'm just gonna do half a cap for this tank. And then after, this is all filtered water that we use for the store. Sometimes it's a good idea to let it sit out before you do a water change, just so it can get room temperature if the water is really cold. But now I'm just gonna pour it into the system. You can also put your hand underneath just so it doesn't shock the water or change the temperature. We are done. That is how you do a water change. We normally don't use buckets in this store because it does get hard because we have so many tanks. It's 8 pounds per gallon of water. Yes, it gets heavy. I'm gonna show you guys a water changer that we use for the store. It's called the Python. This one, you don't have to use buckets. You can actually drain and fill from the tank, which is great for freshwater tanks. It makes it super easy. Yeah, like if you have a 200 gallon and you have to carry all those buckets, nobody wants to do water changes. I mean, for this 20 gallon, this is no big deal. But anything above 60, I recommend getting the Python so you don't have to carry buckets around your house. You don't have to fill up all those buckets. This one does everything. So I'm gonna show you guys in the back on how to use it and how efficient this is. Now we're back here. I'm gonna show you guys the idea of the Python. So with the Python, it hooks up to a water spigot or your faucet. Works really easy. You can drain the water and fill it at the same time. One thing I love about these units is you don't have to carry buckets around. One hose does everything. So One thing cool about it is it has a valve. So when you're filling the tank, you can actually close it from where you're at the tank. And you don't have to run all the way like a hose and try to shut it off. But I'm gonna show you how well it works. So it hooks up to your faucet. I'm gonna get everything started for the water change. I actually did a little example in this container. I put a little fish food in there. You can see how fast it's sucking it up. Look at that. It sucked up all the fish food just like that. It can do 0 just like that while you're doing a water change. And then when you want to fill up the tank, there's a valve. And you can start filling everything back up. Just imagine if you can just do a water change just like that. How easy that is. And then when it gets filled, close the valve, take it over, and turn it off. This is a huge tool in making the aquarium fun and easy when you're doing a water change. And that's all you do. This is the Python. We have 2 different brands. We have the Hygger and Python. Both work really, really well. It's just different hosing lengths. One's 33, one's 25, and Python actually makes a bigger one, 50 feet. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.